So now, if we want to use this, we need to go to our pages, go to our slug, page slug, and then come down to our actual page. All right, so what we're going to do is deconstruct this and have our form, and then we can do, why do I have that? Guess I need to fix that as well. So then we can do form. I know that's not right, but gets me started. All right, so then we can do our fields equals our form dot fields type of form does not equal string. Type string form is not assignable to type form. Okay, so I can do type of form does not equal string. Let's just see what happens. And I get kind of a form. So that's cool. We got a field, and I think none of this works because I don't have Tailwind installed. So not the end of the world, but now I can actually go in and style this exactly how I want it to be styled. The problem though is I don't like having errors. Errors drive me crazy. So we'll leave it like this for now. I don't actually need that, so if I refresh it, we'll fix the error later. But let's do some styling before we call it quits tonight. Why don't we? So we have our form block. Looks like trash down here, but that's okay because we can go into each of our fields and add some styles. So before we move on though, so there's two errors that we need to come back and address. The first is our hero block and our form block. So we're going to come back to the contact form. So to do review contact form, or really it's form error, and then review hero block error. Great. Let's see what we have in the component, which is not what we're looking for. So we're going to come down to our form component right there. And then we have email. Well, actually, so we can style these ourselves. So if we go to width, which that's going to be right, so that's okay. Classes from index. All right, so I need to figure out what their base variable is in their width. So we go to form, we go to width, index. I swear I just copy and pasted this, but now I'm seeing a classes. I wonder where this is actually from then. Well, let's just copy and paste this then. Because if there's no index, then I think I just copy and pasted wrong, which is very likely. Refresh that, still nothing, but now let's style this how I want it to be styled. So in email, we have width, which is the width provided by the form, which should be 50%. So I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's the full name, which is text, is also having a weirdness. Width of 50%, width 50, which then we click into here. Max width equals width. Let's refresh and let's take a look at what's happening to our style. Okay, so for some reason width 50% is not being set like I want it to be. We have width here. I did see max width of 50%, so that's working correctly. Then we have width with no class name. And I don't see any Tailwind styles here, except in label. Oh, it's right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of that, which will then allow me to set my own styles. But let's start with the input because that's the thing that I'm missing the most right now. So we will go down to our input UI. Something else is messed up here. Oh, don't need that. All right, label, input. All right, so we don't want any of these class names. Great. So if I save that, all those class names go away. So now we can, in our UI, add a new style sheet. And we'll just do index. We could add a different folder for each of these UI pieces, but that just seems like overkill. So we'll do input. I really can't spell today. And we'll just do outline 1 pixel solid black just to get something going. And then we can do as well classes dot, which I need to import classes from our index. Oh, I need to do module refactor rename index.module index.module SCSS, and then we can do classes dot input. So that should bring an outline ideally. Yep, there they go. And I was not really anticipating styling a form today, but that's all right. Let's do the button. Don't need to do anything with button variants. We can just keep class name, size, and variant. Get rid of those. Get rid of all of these. I'm sure there's a very good reason to do all of that, but not for me. If I delete that, am I good? Just about. Don't need any, well, we'll keep that. All right, go ahead and get rid of all of those. And do that, and then add classes.submit button. We'll import classes from our index. Here we will do our submit button. Let's set our background color to our primary, dark primary. No, dark primary. And then set our color to be our light primary. Perfect. And then we can do padding of 1 rem. And then we will take care of the whole form in a different way. In our label, we're going to get rid of those, get rid of those. And then we're going to import classes from index.module. Then we're going to do that. Then classes. No, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to do classes dot label, and we'll set. I think we can do display to be block, and that should push it down. Perfect. We will set color to be dark primary. Let's do a margin bottom at the end of our input. Do margin bottom of 1 rem. Should be plenty. Should be too much, actually. No, it's fine. All right, and so now I want to know why I can't do my width of 50% for... Oh, okay, so it's setting... Well, no, because that's margin bottom of 6, which is... So the problem is here in these two, that the div of our... So this is the width. This must be something on top of the width. So we have our class name. And then when we're returning the form, we go to the component, which is our form block. And then that's what this is, the form block. And then where's our return? So return, we have our container. Oh, that's it right here. So container large max, which again, we're not using Tailwind, so we will set our own styles up later. And let's just comment that out. Then that renders this P4, which we will come here and comment this out. Then that's an error, and then here's our form. Form ID on submit, handle submit. Okay, so then we have our MB4 here, which we will comment that out. And then here is where I'm running into my issues, because I want this to take the width of the field. Then we have this button that's throwing an error. No, variant is not what I'm looking for, so I can get rid of that. Oh, it's the class name thing. And really, I don't need that class name there, so I'm just going to remove that and let this stop throwing an error. Back to the component. Still seeing something here. Not assignable to property children does not exist on type of button. So do props children, I guess. Whatever. It's working. That's what really matters here. All right, then we have our form ID, submit button, and the label right there. So great. Now, to style things up, we need this. Form, serialized lexical, says form ID, fields, return, field. Okay. So, when we return field, if we go to field here, fields, field block type. So, let's just do, just to see, if we were to do style and then set width to be 50%. That's going to set all of my widths to 50%, or at least it should. It does. So, different option here. Let's style the form as a flex. So, we're going to have our form up here. And we're going to do a class name of classes dot form, which means then, just in case, yep, we're going to import classes from an index.module.css, and then we'll go up to our form, add a new style sheet, and have this to be index.module. And then we're going to do our form. So we're going to set this to be display flex. Let that do its thing, ideally. No, because the inner... Oh, no, that's right. Okay. So just to see what it looks like, we'll refactor this in a little bit. But now we have our display flex, and then we can do flex. We won't do flex direction. We'll just do flex and then do 1, 1, and then do 50%. So we can remove that max width, I believe. Oh, so let's do display flex, and then we'll do a gap 1 rem, and then set this to be calc 50% minus 1 rem 1 0. There we go. We're missing the wrap. There should be wrap. There we go. And now is this 100% like I want? No. Oh boy. So let's set this to be display flex, flex direction column. There we go. And then in the form, we can set a margin bottom of 1 rem. The button can be a width of auto. All right, we're making progress. Dog's going crazy, but making progress. So we're going to change that to then let it be a width of maybe like 2 rem. That's not enough. 20 rem is probably what I meant. Yep, there we go. Well, let's include our rounded, which we'll need to use app CSS, then vars as, try that again. All right, so then we got rounded. All right, so the problem though is this width. All right, so in here we have a form that is our flex, with the flex direction column. Yes, that's exactly what we want. And then a margin bottom of 1. Great. I guess the form doesn't need to be flex. So then we can just do rid of that and then do text align center. I guess text align center should be up here still. There we go. But that's not actually what I want. So I've got this button which I can put into a new div, do class name, classes.button container. And then above this, do button container. And then set display to flex, do justify content center. All right, so let's see. Button container. What is happening? Oh, I have a comma there. All right, let's refresh that. So we now have our button container and a submit button. Oh, form div is a flex. Okay. All right, so let's get rid of, where's our text align center? Get rid of view. We need button to be display flex. Oh, it's the grow, isn't it? No, it is. Width auto. All right, and so this just needs to be div. There we go. All right. Oof. All right, so now we have our text area, which I still need to work on. And so here, I'm just going to test this form real quick. Just do that, and hit continue or contact. And test confirmation message, great. So here I can see all of that like custom messaging. It works great. I didn't have to do anything else other than, I still have to like style it, but I can see that the email was sent to, and with this subject, you've received a new message from me. And all of that was set from our form. And if I go to contact, I was able to, where it says you received a new message from my name, I can put that from this using the double brackets, just like we did. So that's awesome. And then the form submissions, I can see it here. So I'm going to come over here to my to-do list is in our pages here. We've got a couple errors to review. We're going to continue styling our contact form. We just have, we're making progress. So I want this to be a full name, email, 50-50, and then the submission taking up 100% of the width of our form, and then the contact button being a little bit more separated than it is right now. But we're at a good place to stop now with where we are in the form submission. So I hope to do a little bit more of a deep dive with this in a tutorial here soon. Again, this is the first time that I've used the form builder, so I'm excited to use a little bit more. It probably would have been a lot easier if I used component libraries or Tailwind or anything like that and just had that already in there. But I like to do things the hard way. So we'll style it again another time. But for now, I think this is a good place to call this quits. I've kind of already lost my mind a little bit. But I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I drop a lot of videos around Payload CMS, tutorials, information, everything that you would want to know. And of course, these live streams where I actually use Payload CMS in the wild. So for now, though, I'll see you next time.